Hello. Today is going to be much more of a deep, introspective conversation. I have been in flow with a lot of meditations and Akashic Record journeys, which have been wonderful. And thank you all for the lovely feedback on it and telling me how it lands for you. And at the same time, one of my biggest intentions with this podcast was to share my journey with it all being very integrated in the 3D world of, bills and taxes and work and family and responsibilities of, you know, putting out the trash and giving returns. Some of these are first world things I deal with, where I'm based here in the US. But at the same time, I love all things transcendence, to meditate, to go deep within, to connect to our energy and our soul. It makes our experience so much more meaningful and deep. And I'm feeling that as I say that. So, with that intention, I am here recording this on the new moon in Aquarius day. Feeling the energy. Happy Lunar New Year if that's something you celebrate. And if not, still, this is a magical portal of setting intentions and new beginnings and really coming into what does it mean for us to own our true individuality, our authentic selves. And as I say all of that, I'd love for you to reflect on and allow memories and thoughts for yourself to come through. It's the best when someone else's journey sparks this or ignites the spark, if you will, of a dream or hope, or that's possible for me too, or makes you think of something from a long time ago. So with that perspective or mindset, if you will, um I want to share, I am in a season where I'm feeling a shift and change in my offerings. I am about to step into a container to, and when I say container, if you don't know what that means, it's not a literal physical one, but really a space where I intend to channel my own unique modality. It's a program that's running for the next couple of weeks, and I'm excited by it. For I have received this message of channeling my own unique modality for a while now. I have, in many ways, blended modalities intuitively. This is the power of activating your intuition is you don't need to know it all or study it all. You can remember it all. Many things you desire and hope to do that utilize your soul gifts that expresses parts of you that feel underexpressed right now may just require you to be open and bridging yourself to another version of you that might exist in another time or parallel timeline or so many more locations that our soul can be in. It doesn't have to look as linear as our mind might make it seem. So more to come on that front. I am excited. I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, I already blend my offerings in that even if I do a human design reading or astrology reading, I always open up the Akashic records because it helps set the stage for me to connect to your guides and see what perspective comes through in really deep, powerful sessions. We can go into inner child work, past life healing, past life regression. They can be really emotionally deep and powerful and very, um, it's like a huge perspective shift, is what I can describe it as. I feel it deeply for my clients as much as they tell me how profoundly impactful the session was for them. And I hope to bring more of that magic through. For I really believe that a lot of what we try to make happen in the 3D world, it might be a job, it might be a relationship, be it romantic, or maybe you're preparing to birth a kid into this world, or maybe it's you going after the next level in your job or career, or making a big pivot of some sort. Maybe as a business owner or entrepreneur, you are expanding your services or just cocooning for some time and, ready to make some shift, or you're going through a tough phase, what me and my soul friends call the squeezy part. And feels like there is just all of this coming at you, and you don't feel like you can give and serve in a way that feels good to you. And there's medicine in that time as well. And I'm feeling chills as I say that. Um, I find that tending to our inner world is what really supports us in these times, because it's from this deep place of knowing ourselves, having confidence in ourselves, believing and trusting ourselves, and expressing ourselves fully, authentically from that version of us without fully knowing the outcomes, having goals, dreams, and intentions is how we make that happen. And yet there are parts of us. This is why I love the practice of parts work is many times we're going after something we want in our life that we'd love to have by this birthday. Maybe it's you being in a physical like state of health that feels good to you, maybe a movement goal, maybe and I'm all for body positivity and inclusivity here. And you might be aiming for a certain weight or a size as well. And all of those intentions are welcome. And while we can aim for that, there can be many parts of us that are pulling us back into homeostasis. It's familiarity, like, oh my God, you're changing up how you eat or how you dress or how you spend your time. It can be a lot for some parts of you that are used to operating in a certain way, seeing yourself a certain way. How can you start to make that shift? It starts from deep within. And my hope is that my sessions can really shine a light on that part of you to help you see what's holding you back, what's keeping you stuck. Is it apart from this lifetime, from childhood, from 5 years ago that didn't get what they wanted and doesn't believe that that's possible for you anymore? Is it from a previous lifetime if you believe in the possibility of past lives and parallel lives? And maybe there's an energetic thread that is just trying to play the same story, but you're like, I'm done with that story and I'm ready for something else now. All of this is possible. I have seen it in my work. I have seen it with other practitioners and mentors. And if you feel called to be in the space, and trust that pull whenever the timing is right for you, that we can circle up in a session together and see what wants to flow to help you declutter your inner world, to help you find alignment and congruency within, to aim for what you want and let go of what you don't. That is possible for you, but that is possible for me. And I am in my own journey of figuring out lots of things. I'm in a season of a lot of decluttering. I found it interesting that that analogy came up as I was talking. I, there is a big batch of junk removal that needs to happen. And I feel like I'm purging, I'm removing, I'm reorganizing, I'm optimizing, all that's going on. And then I come back to the same space and I'm like, oh, actually, and I'm realizing my hair and this filter is just, I don't know, cutting off part of my head. So I'm conscious of that. Well, there's also lots of light about me, which I can't complain about. Um, where was I? As I was saying, so lots of decluttering happening, lots of organizing, lots of optimizing, figuring out meals. Been trying meal services that have been working really well for me in this season. They're local, they're healthy. They meet all the needs of my family, which is a miracle. I'm beyond grateful for, knock on wood. Thank you, universe, and more please of that kind of magic. I am setting intentions around finding more magical clients like you who want to journey with me more deeply, especially as my offerings continue to integrate and expand in ways. I have one more offering on its way for entrepreneurs who are conscious and heart led and soul led. I'm working on it in the background. And there's also this desire to birth my Akashic Record course, but we will see if it stays the same as I envisioned, or it will shift as I journey through this process of birthing a new modality. And who knows, maybe I follow that call for a season, maybe I stop, maybe I change, maybe I pivot. I've learned to trust these cycles, for nature is all about cycles, and we are often conditioned to operate in this very linear, check the box way. And while I think that is possible for many things, there are times where the world brings us to a place where we are forced to look back at patterns that are repeating in our life, cycles that happen again and again, things that feel like they're happening way too slow compared to what you were hoping for. And it doesn't mean that something's wrong with you or you're not okay in some way. That just means it's an invitation for you to explore why might this be happening for me, not to me? Is there something here that I can take away from the season that I am being forced to move through? That feels strong, but at the same time, it is true for parts of you. If you're moving through something that has felt like sludge, it's like, oh, I've been trying to make progress here and it feels slow and stuck. And oh, believe me, I've been there. Um, I have been working on finding more ways to introduce movement through my day in my body in ways that can overcome a lot of resistance, especially when I have like worries and stresses of the day and work and life and more coming up, family, all the responsibilities that we can experience in our lives. So stay tuned as I figure that out for myself. It's a journey. And I'm here to support you if you feel called to um, move through that sludge. But I want to close with a suggestion from our guides on if you feel like you're stuck in the mud and unable to move, how can you create an energetic shift for yourself? How can you introduce just a little bit of possibility and hope, vitality into what you're trying to make happen? Maybe it's pulling a card. Maybe it's listening up to a podcast on someone who is doing or has done what you're hoping to do. Maybe it's you finding this perfect meditative journey on YouTube. I have many in my channel here if you're watching, or on my podcast if you're listening there. And maybe it's you actually taking that intention and watching a good movie or TV show and trusting you'll get a message there around where you're feeling stuck. Maybe you don't even have a idea that pops in. Maybe you just process deep emotion. You cry tears when something sad comes on the screen, and maybe that's all you needed to do is to feel that sadness, and maybe there's a breakthrough on the other side. With that, I feel like my message for today is complete, and it feels like I almost channeled a message, but really I was just talking to you all. I hope you are well. I hope that you can use this podcast or anything else that you do today with the magic and power of intention, meaning think about what you want to call in the next couple of weeks. And if you're listening to this at another time, you can still tap into that magical quality of setting a timeline into motion and saying, universe, this is what I want. This is what I'd like to have. Can I have this, please? Or something better? And play with that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting my channel. If you wish to receive more messages, hear more about integrating the spiritual with the practical, then subscribe to my channel or follow my podcast and maybe with more shifts and changes in the coming months. Stay tuned. Sending you lots of love.